selling makes you stronger, but a couple things I like about Damien personally is his passion. I absolutely love how passionate he is. If you haven't talked to Damien, you need to, because it is just unbelievably how much passion he has for this business and for everybody he talks to. He is at $285,000 in personal sales. He did a 12K and a 15K push. He's ran a branch in district. When he ran a district, he was number 9 in the company his first year. He's actually at 15K for the campaign in a territory he just moved to for the first time, I guess, ever, and he doesn't even have a car. He also is from Argentina. The reason why he doesn't have a car is he's into the green. Like, I don't know if that's accurate, but it sounds like it. Because he's like, I just do regular transportation. That doesn't involve gas normally, ever, which is cool. I was like, that's awesome. I don't know why, but cool. But he is from Argentina and loves soccer. Can we give a huge round of applause for Damien?
We don't care. Make some noise if you've been on my push alliance calls in the morning. We're going to continue for the next 2 weeks. Now they are going to change to 8 a.m. You're welcome, Rising Sun Division, Rocky Mountain as well. You're welcome. Hey, they were on the phone at 6:30 in the morning, and Chandler still beat you like you stole something in a third world country. Now let's go ahead and get started. Now there will be certainly things that we're going to talk about today that you have not heard before, but you're going to notice me looking down at my notes at all. I don't care if you look up at me one time during this entire talk, because this is not going to be a motivational talk. This is going to be an informational talk. So again, do not look up at me, look at your notes, and take lots of them. When you open up your book, there will be a calendar, we'll be referring to that one, and then there will be the notes section where that is where you will be writing. I challenge all of you to refrain from thinking, I already know some of this stuff. In regards to this, I'm going to share a quote from Hal Elrod, an extremely successful former Cutco rep. Make some noise if you know Hal Elrod. He said, whenever you say, I already know that, your brain automatically stops learning. Instead, ask yourself, am I living this? So if you ever hear me mention something you haven't, that you've heard before, don't think, oh, I've heard this before. Ask yourself if you're implementing what you've been taught. Because of lots of advice that I heard that made me a very successful sales rep, I heard it many, many times before I ever took action to do it. Learn from my mistake and take action right away. When representatives fail at a push, very rarely it's their talent that fails them. Now, yeah, obviously many of them never stood a chance. They didn't have the right leads. They didn't have as many leads as they needed. I mean, who's been in that situation, right? You wanted to sell 10K, boom, $380. How did you end up so far? And sometimes they even go to a push with 50 plus leads and they still fail. And why does that happen? You know, it's typically the rep themselves sabotages themselves because they allow outside influences to stop them from the plan they set out to accomplish. Who here noticed in the last couple of weeks when they started to push themselves, that's when more challenges started to happen. Right, so well, you know, spontaneous vacations, lack of demo days when they go to a movie because they feel tired or they needed a break. Somehow their office all of a sudden needs them. Maybe a relationship issue, tiredness, or illness stops from doing the right things. And then who do they end up blaming for the mistakes and the problems that came up? Except for themselves. Now what I want to do is I'm not going to teach you how to sell big for a push, because you guys know how to do that. pick up the phone like Danny told you. That's it. The job's simple. What I'm going to teach you is how to prepare for a push through the techniques that CSPs have mastered that you guys probably didn't anticipate being important, but now 2 weeks later after this push, you'll probably realize they were. Because as you guys know, write this down, the push is typically won or lost before it even starts. The push is typically won or lost before it even starts. There'll be some stuff on the slide, on the PowerPoint slide, so I guess you can look up for that. So, Vector representatives attempting to go through a push will realize that the results are typically influenced by the quality of three things. Number one is their business. Number two is their endurance. And lastly is their emotions. You can make that kind of three-legged stool, so to speak, that you see on the board. Typically, most people are at a 4 to 6 on a 10-point scale on these three areas of focus, and they can live their life pretty comfortably. Wouldn't you agree? So think about the last time you started to completely disregard one of those legs. You quickly notice that you begin falling into it, so to speak. You know, if you start disregarding your fitness and your health, and all of a sudden you get really sick, or you don't wake up on time, or you choose to go to sleep instead of making calls because you needed the rest. Situations like that cause reps to fail in pushes. Because yeah, I mean the basics, yes, they're always the same. You build a big name list, you make a schedule, they talk about phoning, and then they go for it, right? That's what typically reps think about when they go to a push. That's like trying to run a marathon and all you did to prepare was buy a pair of gym shoes and make a 6-hour playlist. You're going to fail. Each leg in this system has components they're made of. You know, things like your business, you know, that's how your business is run. Your leads, your closing skills, and your phoning. Your endurance is made up of nutrition and fitness, and your emotions are affected by the quality of your relationships to people and yourself. In a push, what you're attempting to do is push the leg of your business to a 10 and take your attention off the two other legs and hope they don't break. And that's why preparation and anticipation are so key. So 1 to 3 weeks prior to any push, if you want any hope in succeeding, you know, aside from making sure that you have plenty of leads and your recs and closer memorized, you need to strengthen the two other legs to the point that when you take your attention off of them, they can stand on their own. Does that make sense? There we go. All right, so let's talk about endurance first. We're going to divide this into two parts. One is food and then one is fitness. You're like, why am I talking about food when I'm thinking about selling Cutco? Food is your fuel, and without it, you're going to run out of energy. And with the wrong fuel, the body will misfire and perform poorly. You guys have heard of Josh Mueller, CSP Hall of Famer? He'll do aggressive cleanses and diets where he mostly drinks liquids and eliminates all meats right before his big pushes in the holiday season because he wants his body to be able to maintain 10 to 14-hour work days for 28 days in a row. He pushes his fitness and nutrition to a 10 in advance to withstand the pain of working so much. Because yes, doing a 2-week push will be painful to your body. And he had a $250,000 fall last year and reached $400,000 in sales. So was that focus worth it? Yeah. Say hell yeah. Hell yeah. So let me ask you guys something. Who developed some bad eating habits during pushes? Fast food, coffee, skipping meals. The undernutritioning and malnutritioning render the body weak and stamina is diminished. And because of it, people will skip phone times, take too many breaks, they become forgetful and they lack their vigor. So I'm going to talk to you about some nutrition tips. The secret to long-standing energy is smaller and better meals, considering the majority of the energy your body exerts is digesting food. It's very common that you will screw up the first and last meal of the day. Raise your hand if you skip breakfast and you're making a huge mistake in your life. Raise your hand if you drink a lot of coffee. Sure, it does stimulate dopamine, which does help your focus, but it also depletes those neurotransmitters, and it loses effectiveness, which is why you have to drink more coffee over time. Who's ever noticed that before? Here's the also crappy part about it, that it dehydrates you. It's a diuretic, and it means it helps you lose all those nutrients that give you energy that you fight to put into your system. So you woke up late, you hit the snooze, you rush, so you go to a donut shop, you eat a bunch of sugar, So your blood sugar surges and then plummets a few hours later, killing your energy during your 1 p.m. demo, where you could have sold that Ultimate if you had just been with it. The other bad thing they do is they eat late night greasy meals in the middle of a push. Who's ever done that before? Because you get home late and what's the only thing open? McDonald's, right? It tastes great. That's so counterproductive to your body. You're asking your body to then go to sleep, rest, wake up with vigor, but you're also asking your body to work as hard as humanly possible while it's resting. All that food is poorly processed, it turns into fat, and then you're tired and sluggish, and you wonder why you want to quit the push. So what I've heard from countless of successful CSPs when they're approaching pushes is that smoothies are the way to go. Who likes smoothies? Say hell yeah. Yeah. Now, at 11 o'clock at night, it might not seem like it's going to satisfy you, but trust me, give it 30 minutes and it will. You'll be able to rest comfortably, you'll wake up feeling more excited, giving you a better opportunity to make big sales in the push. So here is my fruit green super smoothie that I got from my coach who I pay a lot of money. Bananas for potassium, frozen berries. Use coconut milk and almond milk. You're like, I don't like how it tastes. Trust me, in the smoothie you won't notice the difference. Spinach for iron. Who's eaten some kale in the past? This is one of the greatest things for you. It's got 1,000% of vitamin K, potassium, iron, and phosphorus. Holy carrot. You want to get a scoop of some Greek plain yogurt, a little ice keep it cold, maybe a little whey protein, and my super secret ingredient is flax seeds. Those are going to give you a bunch of omega-3 fatty acids, high in fiber, great for digestion and keeping you light. It'll take you about 5 minutes to prepare, and here's the trick. Take about 30 minutes at the beginning of the week and make little individual smoothie Ziploc baggies. Make 14 of them, one for the morning, one for the night, and put them in the freezer. Take out 2 of them each day, and now you have something in the morning and something at night. Just don't put the milk in the yogurt, you can just add that as well. But there you have, because who wants to think about making food at night, right? You're like, this is about to be pushing, right? You need the stamina. The majority of people fail to push because their body gives up first. Let's talk about your fitness. Oh, no, we're still in Batman. There we go. All right, let's talk about your fitness. You want to be a marathon runner, not a sprinter, meaning you want to have stamina over time. Is it good to start working out when you're doing a push? No, when do you want to start working out? 2 weeks before the push. Right, so you have your calendar there, and you'll notice that on December 16th, it tells you to start some sort of fitness routine that pushes you. You want to be at the 2 to 4 week part of your push, because what happens when you're doing it right away, right? You're going to be sore, it's going to distract you from selling. Running, swimming, elliptical, stuff like P90X Insanity, they're great ways to push yourself, because what you'll notice is that when you push yourself in one area of your life, what does that allow you to do? Push yourself in other areas of your life. I'll need maybe 6. All right. Most importantly, it's going to be your emotions, your perseverance. Your belief that you can do it is so important. It makes me crazy watching people give up on themselves in the last couple days of the push because they're mentally fatigued. And that's typically when the magic happens. They're not focused because their mom is getting mad at the hours they're working, their loved one gets into a fight because they forgot to call them for the last 3 days, and worst of all, they stop believing in themselves because of their no sales cancellations. They start believing their customers. You know, and again, their mom says it's impossible, their friends give them a hard time for being missing in action for the last few weeks. Maybe they go to a movie because they couldn't take it anymore. They go to a party because everyone else is doing. And ultimately the push wins because the rep is not emotionally invested enough to continue to do the hard work all the way to the last moment. Just like a boxer in a big fight and during round after round with their trainer and their manager and their coach, you need to have people supporting you. And these are the 3 most important people you need during a push. First of all, you need that person that loves you unconditionally and tell you that you're amazing no matter what you're doing. Maybe that's your mom, maybe that's your grandma. For me, it was my mom. I could call and tell her that I sold $200, and she's like, that's so great, next one you'll sell 10,000. She had no idea how like the sales things work, but she just always gave me enthusiasm. Second person is a vector person to cheer you up when Cutco stuff is going poorly. Your mom might not be this person. She might not want you to feel sad. This is a vector person that's super positive, that's going to help you see the bright side of the situation and help you fix problems fast by seeing solutions versus the pity party that you're on your way to. This could be your DM, your Dom, your sales manager. As you can see in your calendar, right around the week of December 22nd, you need to push PC with your sales manager or DM. You need to tell them how to push you and what are the hot buttons that are going to work on you. Because you guys all know what's going to work and what's not. I've oftentimes worked with people and they're like, Damien, that's not working. Do something else to push me. I'm like, why don't you just tell me? So tell your manager how to push you. You also need to tell them you're going to give them permission to push you as hard as you possibly can, especially in the moments of weakness when you want to quit. Who here sometimes would have wished that manager would have been there to push them when they wanted to quit and that manager wasn't there because you didn't tell them to be there? You need to set up a schedule that you give to the manager that you both agree upon ahead of time. So you have a copy of the schedule and so do they, so they know exactly when you're phoning, when you have assistant manager responsibilities and not to throw them at you last minute, district managers, and when your planned breaks are. And the third person is somebody that you compete with. Your push buddy. Make some noise if you love having a push buddy. By December 24th, you better have one. You guys better talk on the 27th, like it says in your calendar, to make sure that you're both ready. One of you will want to not do it, and that person, you got to be there for them. You got to be like, man, come on, I thought we were going to be push buddies. The person that you can call and brag to, and then you tell them, I sold big. And they're like, I sold big, are you pansy? I'm making one more phone call. No, you're not. I got 35 recommendations. I'll see you in front of the trophy. You just got to push each other. All right, next regarding your emotions. I know I'm going to go a little bit over. I'm going to get yelled at by my boss, but it's okay. You guys are worth it. All right, the next thing you got to do is prepare the people around you for the push. This will kill you so many times, it's not even funny. You can't just tell them that you're about to push for 2 weeks. Sorry, honey, I can't see you for a couple days. Yeah, guys, sorry, I'm going to be out. You have to do something called the McGriddle. Here's what the McGriddle is. The McGriddle is a boring egg omelet that nobody cares about except it's surrounded by something amazing. Pancake stuffed with syrup. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to make sure that before the push starts, you take this person that you care about, your mom, your significant other, and you say, we're going to go do something awesome. And by the way, right after the push, we're going to do something awesome too, just because I'm really excited you're going to support me for the push. That way, they're not telling you, God, I can't wait for you to be done with this push. They're saying, gosh, I can't wait for you to take us to the baseball game. Keep working hard, make more money. And that's how you prevent them from getting on your case the entire time. Who likes that? Spoil people in your life, especially family and friends. Chances are you're probably going to ask them for some sales during the push anyways. Third and finally is going to be your business. And if you prepare those first two things correctly, properly for the first 2 weeks, you can let go of them during the push and focus on your business. But if you don't, you saw what happened for the last couple of weeks, didn't you? So again, you've got a month to do this now. Before then, you have a perfect calendar that if you look at it, it will tell you everything you need to do on a day-by-day basis from 2 weeks before the push starts all the way throughout. So again, if you prepared, your family and friends are happy, your fitness and nutrition is doing good, gotta be operating at a peak performance in your business, and the only thing that matters in your business is, how much you believe in yourself. And that's why you need a mission statement. You guys all right now have the greatest mission statement that you have in your entire career. It's going to be so easy for you guys to share your passion and inspiration and have that be noticeable and palpable to your customers. Guys, I was so excited to open up my business, open up my district office. I was opening my office in a blue-collar town, very middle class, and I wanted to offer young people that would otherwise be stuck in dead-end and fast food and retail jobs an opportunity to have something on the resume that will be a catalyst to help them live the life of their dreams. And I practiced that line so many times. I told it to my customers at the beginning, during the middle, at the end of the demo, that I wanted them to say, you know what, I didn't know if I was going to buy, but this seems like it's a really good cause. I remember having somebody buy $500 extra because they said I knew what it was like when I opened up my own business too. I want them to tell their husband or wife, I really was going to buy the knives, and they're really expensive, but man, you should have met this kid. I wish our son was that passionate about anything. Make your About Me page. You've heard me say that a million times. The push is won by the hard workers, way more than the talented. So again, you've got an awesome calendar that's got everything from when you should be buying groceries, when you should be cleaning your room, when you should be talking to your family, when you should be setting up your DM. I promise you, if you follow that calendar day by day, word for word, you will hit your goal. You are going to be your best cheerleader or your worst enemy. Let's go to Puerto Vallarta, baby.
You're very welcome. Next person I'm going to bring up is Mr. Wes Frank. This 5th, 14th year in the business. He's ran 2 branches while in college. He's actually a marketing and international business major from Penn State. And he also chose to go branch over a lot of internships that he had that were offered to him, and also when he decided to go district, he turned down a lot of great jobs and decided to run a district instead. He's at $23 million in career sales, Hall of Fame, and he just on Wednesday had his 3rd year wedding anniversary. Let's give Wes a huge round of applause.